Hi all. Welcome back to another video of basic electronics. Do you know what is capacitor? If don't, then it's time for you to learn it easily. So sit back and watch the video completely. Come, let's get into it. So let's take a look on two things mainly. What are capacitor and why we use them in circuits? But before getting into it, I want to show you 6 different types of capacitors that are mainly used in circuits. They are electrolytic capacitors, ceramic capacitors, mica capacitors, non-polarized capacitors, film capacitors, and last but not least paper capacitors. Let's get into a bit deeper on each of them. Let's start with electrolytic capacitor. Electrolytic capacitors are electronic components that offer very high capacitance range. The capacitance of electrolytic capacitors range from 1 microfarad to 4000 microfarad. Electrolytic capacitors are mostly used in circuits. If you take a look on any of PCB, you can at least see one capacitor which is electrolytic. Electrolytic capacitors are used for filtering the voltage and also used as coupler in circuits. They are mostly placed in circuits for stabilizing the voltage and filtering the supply. Electrolytic capacitors are used for filtering the power rails. If you analyze a power supply, you can see an electrolytic capacitor put across the output of the rectifier. It's because electrolytic capacitors can filter and clean out the AC ripples from the DC line and can deliver pure DC. If you want to see how to build a power supply, then comment down and I will do it in future. Next is ceramic capacitor. Ceramic capacitors are made up of ceramic materials. They are mostly used for blocking interference and noise from electrical signals. If you take a look on above shown picture, you can see a 100 nanofarad capacitor is put parallel with the DC motor. It's for blocking the noise created by motor during its operation. I will do an explained video on that in future. One of the advantages of ceramic capacitor is that it is much stable in different frequency and voltages. They are mainly used in wireless transmission devices for blocking interference and giving out clean signals. Next is film capacitor. As the name says, they are made up of dielectric films. Film capacitors used mainly in AC supplies. They are designed to work in high frequency and high voltages. They are mostly seen in high frequency power rails like induction heaters or power inverters. Film capacitors are also used as voltage droppers in power supplies. If you take a look on cheap power supplies, you can see such capacitors are put in series with mains input for dropping 230 volts AC to desired output voltages. Such power supplies are mostly used in electric mosquito killer bats for charging the battery. If you want to learn how to build transformerless power supply, then comment down and I will do it in future. Next is paper capacitor. Paper capacitors are mainly used in high power and high current circuits. Paper capacitors are most often used in amplifiers. If you take a look on crossover inside music systems, then you can see capacitors used there are paper capacitors. They are also used in circuits to block AC signals from DC lines. Paper capacitor stores charge in form of electric fields. I will explain in detail about paper capacitor in future projects. Next is non-polarized capacitors. As its name, non-polar capacitors are capacitors without positive or negative polarity. The two electrodes of non-polarized capacitors can be randomly inserted into the circuit, and will not leak, mainly used in circuits of coupling, decoupling, feedback, compensation, and oscillation. Such capacitors are also called as bipolar capacitors. Now you may have a doubt striking your head, what if I connect polarized capacitors in wrong way? I have the answer for that, here it comes. Watch it. That was a catastrophic explosion. Don't try this at home. And that's it for the video, guys. Hope you learned a bit about capacitors and their uses. Keep supporting. If you like this video, then please share it and subscribe. And stay tuned, I will be right back with another topic.